Alright, well, I guess we'll let people filter in a little bit. And I need to make sure that we're live, because that's important. And let's see, let's check YouTube. Make sure volume is down so I don't randomly hear myself. Because no one wants to hear that.
No, they don't.
No, I mean they definitely don't tune into the podcast at all.
We're live.
We are live. Sweet.
Yep.
Sweetness.
We're live.
You stop that.
I'll fudge and do it again.
All right, everyone, welcome back to World War Weeb, where we ask you just one question. What is wrong with Orphen's voice?
Welcome to World War Weeb.
Orphen has a new toy, if you didn't notice. Hey there to Bagels on D-Live, and of course, our guest today is the wonderful Dark Sharingan Z. But as you may notice, everyone is me.
Yes, we are all me.
So there's me, and then there's Aussie me, and then there's Dark me. Give me a dark, brooding voice, Dark.
Dark me.
It's
I am the Dark Sharingan. Z! Oh my god. I don't need a voice changer.
I legit thought, like, when you started that, I legit thought you were gonna go, I am Iron Man.
No, I am vengeance. I am the knight. I am Batman. Batman. Batman.
Hey guys, I'm Tiny Tim Batman.
Just imagine
like
Into the
your
Batverse. And then there's just one that is actually a bat. Just a cartoon bat.
Oh,
Okay, we literally have viewers on D-Live, YouTube, and Twitch. Usually it's 2 at most, but we have viewers on all of them, and I love it.
What Sierra Stream says, hello, hello.
So
Hello.
y'all can't hear it. I can, and the stream can. So there's a notification sound for a lot of the Lino donations that I get on D-Live, and I told Bagels that he would really enjoy really enjoy a certain level, because I put the clip of the 2 male voice actors, or main male voice actors from a Demon Slayer on a podcast, just going Nezuko. So
Someone
I'm sure
loves
Bagels is
their-
gonna have fun with that. But I'm just reading a Raven's comment. Randomly join in, named you. That'd be great. So anyway, we have decided from here on out, unless there's something we really, really feel like we want to cover on the podcast, we're just gonna wing it, because fuck it. I don't have time for that topic shit, and we're all friends, and we can probably talk lots and
Look at
lots. But we did have an idea of what we wanted to talk about today. Orphen was saying it'd be fun to talk about whiny, babby anime protagonists. Yes,
Just
Raven, I
anime,
know who you
nuts.
are.
Not
You know
all
what,
protagonists
just
in
in-
general.
I'll say in general, but I just want to touch on, God damn it, Shinji, shut the fuck up.
I don't want to get in the robot. Get in the damn robot, Shinji.
Oh my god. Shinji, you have to get in the Ava. Why me? Because only children can pilot the Avas. Why is that? Why? Yeah, why? It's a beep in the anime. That's why. The pilots are always wanting little beep children.
That was beautiful. Tears in my eyes right now.
I can't pilot this thing. Ah!
Oh, Shinji. But there seems to be a real people seem to love their characters to be whiny and crybaby-ish, and I've noticed that because the popularity of characters like Spider-Man and Shinji, but the hatred
Well,
of angry
Spider-Man isn't that
characters.
bad.
Well, the Tobey Maguire ones certainly were
Oh,
crybaby.
no,
Yeah,
come on. I'm
for
thinking
sure.
The Fox Kids version. The Fox Kids Spider-Man was the best. I was thinking
I-
that one.
And that's a weird thing. I think the Tobey Maguire could have been a good Spider-Man or a better Peter Parker, but he was given a really bad script to work with.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? Sometimes you just get a bad script. I mean, Hayden Christensen, I think, was one of the best actors they could have possibly chosen and did a really, really good job in the role of Anakin. The problem was the script. George Lucas doesn't know how real people sound.
You know, whether you love or hate the sequel trilogy, I
Mhm.
don't think anything would have been better if I think everyone would have been probably even more angry if George Lucas was still around to do the sequel.
I actually disagree. I think he did end up, in a way, learning his lesson, and I think what should have probably made like a lot more what would have made a lot more people happy with the sequel trilogy is if they included George as much as they promised they were going to at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because they told him, yeah, you know, you can be involved in this and that, and, you know, we'll take your ideas into account, we'll protect your characters, and then they just threw all of it out.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was situations where George Lucas was getting too talkative and too objectionable to everything they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like he's that kind of guy. Unfortunately, he was surrounded by yes men.
Yeah.
No, not yes men. Yeah, yes men in the prequel trilogy. Whereas with the original
Right.
trilogy, he had Kingsmen. You know, people who had the guts to tell him, "No, this is dumb. This is wrong. You shouldn't do this. This idea is dumb." Well, people wouldn't say it that way, but there were guys who knew better.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And well, and that's the thing is like even on set while going through the script, even people like Mark Hamill or Harrison Ford would go to George and say, "I can't say this. It sounds weird. It doesn't like no one would say it like this. No one." And so the line was either changed or cut.
Human or am I a robot?
Although you want to talk about whiny characters, both Anakin and Luke, like father, like son, they were pretty whiny at the beginning.
I hate you.
I don't see Luke as whiny. I mean, everyone keeps using that scene where he says, "But I was gonna go to Tosh, whatever,
Yeah,
to pick up the."
but I was gonna go to Tashi. Yeah, see now you got me screwing it up. It's
To shake.
But-
To shake.
But that's
No,
the one and only line
it's,
he put on a whiny
yeah,
tone.
Tashi Station. Well, no, because he was also so this was before he got put in his place by Han Solo, because like he was kind of an arrogant prick and like just really wanted to do things and blah blah blah. He was the Disney princess, wanted more. But like he was whining all the time, and then like he starts actually spending time with the rough and tough smuggler Han Solo, and Han Solo is just immediately like, "Yeah, you think you could fly it, kid?" And I think that like that's what he needed, and then for the rest of the film he was much less whiny, and he was much more like, instead of jumping into people's business, he was more laid back. Because George gets story and George gets characters, but what he doesn't get apparently is how to make people sound like humans.
Yeah,
I-
dialogue.
I think his problem was that he forgets whether he's writing for a person or a narrator.
Ooh, that's a good way to put it. I never thought of it that way.
That is. Also, hi 13K, what's up?
Howdy, space cowboy. Bang.
Also,
Oh, I should've done
just
that
to get
with my
through, because I know y'all are looking at the YouTube comments, but we have been getting quite a few comments from Bagels on DLive. So there's a long one I just want to see. I think. Okay, so I think this is in reference to either whiny or angry protagonists, but let me read through this. I think it is because we like them to grow, like how Eren is currently in the manga right now, which is spoilers, so I can't say it here. But I think people just don't like the angry character to be the protagonist. And, I definitely agree, Bagels. Because, I mean, that's been Midoriya's path in Boku no Hero Academia.
Well, that's where I'm going to differ in my opinion because sometimes I like an angry character like Shin Asuka from Gundam Seed Destiny or even Kicker from Transformers Energon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do love me some angry characters, and I think it's more of a personal thing. I think the whole tsundere thing, like people obviously like angry protagonists, but I think they tend to get like pigeonholed into other stereotypes. It's so rare that an angry character is both done well and a main character.
Yeah, but why do people seem to hate angry or protagonists with a bit of a backbone and willing to speak their minds, but they love their whiny crybabies? I mean,
I don't
I
know.
get sick of crybabies a lot. I mean,
Yeah. I know some
something
people
about
really didn't like My Hero Academia because they thought Midoriya was too whiny.
I kind of think that a bit. He was in the beginning.
Yeah, but I think that was like it was proportional though. Like for someone in his position, it made sense. But as he's been growing, he still has a bit of an emotional side for sure. But I feel like he's really grown. He's done the growing that the whiny characters need to. He's not there yet, but he's getting there.
I mean, I don't. Sorry if I have to keep going back to Shin Asuka, but a lot of people hate him because he's
Mhm.
angry. Whereas you watch the first episode of Gundam Seed Destiny, his family was killed at a bomb blast because
Right.
the country that he was living in, their defense policies failed the people big time. So as a civilian, he doesn't know the ins and outs, but his family was killed because his nation did not. They were trying to keep their values to the very end,
Mhm.
meant endangering people, at least from his perspective. So his anger was kind of justified.
Yeah,
And
and I
it didn't
think
help that Kigali was a bit of an idiot. See, Destiny.
mm, I'm not super familiar
Flay was
with
just
the
a
show, so
and Flay was just a hot fight in the first series.
Oh yeah.
I can't hear done anything about Seed without thinking, God damn it, Flay, you absolute fuck, get the fuck out, get the. Ugh.
I was gonna say something. I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Holy shit, I had a bit of ash in my fucking mouth because apparently Australia has the. God damn it, I hate Australia right now.
Yes, hello. Everything is on fire. Yes, and well, I was just
Everything is on
calling.
fire.
I was calling Dell customer support just to let you know that everything is still on fire. Thanks, mate.
Hey Josh, put up the photo that I linked in general, just so people can see what it actually looks like over
Yeah,
here
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Let me turn on the display capture.
Let me
It's-
just
Yeah, that's intense. And according to Orphan, like that is. Oh wait, no, I don't want to put it over where the chat is. I'll leave it over here, like I had it. But yeah, apparently all of this
That's a lot more
it's
red.
yeah, it's red, not yellow, and that is horrifying.
yeah.
I like Jesus Christ.
damn. Not as bad as the sandstorm in that happened in Dubai a couple of years back. You couldn't even see in front of you. That was 2 meters away.
Yeah, I heard about that. I am really glad I don't live in a place that either consistently catches fire or is so sandy that you will be blasted with a wall of sand.
Yeah, I live in a sandy country. I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
It's rough and coarse, and it gets everywhere. Ha ha ha! What a story!
Ha ha
Hi,
ha.
Mark.
Hi, doggy.
Have y'all seen that, by the way? The
Oh, hey, Mark, how's the sex life?
no, have you seen Anakin and Tommy, the little short video where they just put?
Oh God, that.
I did
It
not.
was great. Here's what I'll do. I'm too lazy to actually set stuff up on the stream, but afterwards I'll link it to you. It is
Alrighty
hilarious. Yes.
So, yeah, just the other day I finally finished Rising of the Shield Hero.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
It's
great. I love
good,
that show.
but at the same time, I wish it wasn't an isekai.
Why?
Like, I wish it was. I don't know. The isekai genre has been overused and done to death. It would have been better if the show started where they're just all from that world, and these guys are just
But that
special kinds of heroes.
it's such a fundamental part of his character arc that he is from that other world, and it affects everything about what he does and how he reacts to his experiences there. Like, this is one of the few times where, like, yes, it's been overdone, I totally agree, but at the same time, you couldn't do it any other way and have it be as good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as much as people like sword art. I'm gonna say it's not a sword art. It's actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a bad take there. No, it's not. Actually, think about it, people. Sword art is pretty freaking bad when you think about it.
No, it is. It absolutely is. And for me, I personally love Sword Art Online. I love it. It's one of my
I do
favorite
too,
shows.
just-
But from an objective standpoint, yeah, it's pretty bad. And I can also see how it could have been better. One, if you read the light novels, you'll see things they had to cut out, and two, there was like things get lost in production hell, and then they just get ruined.
Yeah.
And that kind
The
of
light
did
novels are
happen with Sword Art, at least in the first 2 seasons.
I will say this about Shield Hero. I wish that Lark, is that his name, Lark, had been introduced
Yeah.
much sooner.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Oh.
mean, there's a lot of build up that you have to do, so it kind of depends on how they wanted to do the how they wanted to introduce him.
So according to Anime News Network, sorry, not Anime News Network. Well, what am I talking about? My anime list.
Mhm.
There's actually a page made for a second season of Shield Hero. I don't know if anyone knows if it's been announced, but
It hasn't been
Um,
officially announced, but it was received very well, except for the few people here in the West who were like, they saw the first episode, and just the fact that it featured a very real scenario where a woman actually no, I don't want to a woman lies about a very bad thing that I will not say on YouTube. And it's something that it's like, you think a woman would lie about that? I think I think a woman with a sound mind would not. But this character does not have a sound mind. She is selfish and she is dangerous, and it's like, it makes sense.
She's basically a Zula.
But if Azula just started out as crazy as she was at the end of
Yeah.
the
And
show.
then like gets crazy about like 10 to 15 times.
Yeah. God, she is so insane, and like that, the spear hero just annoyed the hell out of me, because at no point until much later, at no point did he stop and think, wow, she's possibly lying to me. Like, just without question believes everything she says.
Yeah.
That was kind of
I
annoying
don't-
after a while.
putting that to one side, did the show ever make you feel angry whenever he encountered people who profiled him?
No, because I genuinely thought it was an interesting story tool. Because like that's kind of the thing, and he wasn't told the extent of it, so he had to experience the extent of it. So as he started learning more and more about people's stigma against the Shield and against his own specific reputation, thanks to what happened at the beginning, I don't know. I never really got mad because I could see where it was going, and at some point, eventually, he starts changing people's minds when he's given the kick in the pants he needs to. You know.
Hmm.
And of course, his ever-growing lolly army.
Oh, God damn it.
Like that's just I don't know why they just maybe they just wanted the moe element in that show.
They did, but fucking every anime has that shit nowadays.
Yeah.
It's unescapable. It's unescapable at this point.
And like
It'll fucking die
it's not
down
like I
sooner or
don't
later,
like it. It's just it's everywhere.
It's all merchandising, man. They gotta
Merchandising,
make figurines of certain
merchandising.
character.
Spaceballs the lunchbox. Spaceballs the doll. Spaceballs the flamethrower. The kids love it.
It'll die down eventually with that shit. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a fad, and eventually it'll get back to like just some other fad will take over, and then every now and again, an
I
infusion of
don't see
moe.
it. I don't see it dying out anytime soon because it's been around for so long now.
True, I mean it is a very long running meme, but I do think that the meme will evolve into something new and something so incredibly different as memes are wont to do.
yeah.
I mean, for a brief moment, shonen manga, Shonen Jump was catering more to young adult males than kids because there was a point where they were trying to keep their core fans who had grown up from the 70s,
Right.
which is why there was a lot of manime or manga in the 80s, like Fist of the North Star
Mm-hmm.
and City Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't until
even
Dragon
for,
Ball
like,
came along with Kid Goku that
Mhm.
kind of changed things.
hmm. I mean, even then, Fist of the North Star was so fucking crazy for the time that they had to put it in a sign-in magazine.
Yeah. I mean it was brutal.
Yeah, but to think that was okay for a shonen in the 80s. People's heads being blown up.
I mean, it's it's a comic and then a cartoon
Mm.
afterwards. So like I think especially back then you could get away with a lot of other shit than you can now because it's animation. And even now you can get away with some things with in regards to animation, but not nearly as much as
Oh.
you used to be able to.
Oh god, that just made me think of Arifureta there for a second in the Dragon episode. God damn. Wait, have you seen that series?
I have not. I am lost right now.
I can't explain it on YouTube, but
Okay.
a certain episode, I can explain the bare bones. A certain episode, main character fucking shoves something where the sun don't shine and starts hitting it. And the dragon, who is obviously a fucking humanoid or can transform into a humanoid, gets off
Mhm.
on it.
Oi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
That's
Ari
interesting.
Foreta is fucking weird, but it's another one of those offshoots of sort of the shield hero type things where the
Mhm.
main character is kind of like betrayed at the start,
Yeah.
and like he actually gets his fucking arm bitten off by a huge ass bear.
Yeah. Well, that
That's
actually
not what
reminds
happens.
me. reminds me of another reason why Rising of the Shield Hero works so well. Because yes, it's an isekai, but it actually subverts the isekai genre right at the beginning with the entire idea of him being betrayed and like cast down to the lowest possible level. Because you start out like a normal isekai, just randomly pulled into a new world, given all sorts of special treatment and this and that, only to find that, wow, this is too good to be true. Yes, it's too good to be true. And that, I think, that one little subversion, and there are other subtle subversions later on in it, but that one little subversion makes it so good. And completely changes the whole thing.
Yeah, I also like how they're going after religion again. I love that. I love that side of anime. They always do it like you're always defeating. Like in every Japanese game or anime, it's like let's defeat God. God is corrupt or something like that. It just happens. Like, what is their fascination with killing gods?
Because to me, anyway, because what does the word kami mean?
It varies from what I understand. It could mean God himself. It could mean deity in general.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because they didn't really have a word for deities as we in the West know them, because a kami could be anything from... so a kami is, like, the best way to describe it is a great spirit or a great spiritual being. And so that could be anything from, what they call the Christian God, since, a couple hundred years ago, Christianity was brought there, so they have both Christianity and Shinto, and the word kami comes from Shinto, but they still use it for the Christian God. But they also use it for some of the creation deities. They have it for some of the local spirits. And when you have a shrine to a kami, it's not always like a god or a deity in the sense that we know it.
Then what's Shinigami?
Shinigami is so Shini, death.
They say it's god of death, but where does the word God come into that word? Gami's with a G.
Well, that's because it comes second. When you put two words together to make a new word, if it starts with a K, the K becomes a G. And there's some other there's some other sounds that are also softened in that way. But that you'll see that a lot in Japanese words where they'll change the K to a G. Oh, you know what? They do it in Korean too. My martial art. So I do Tangsudo, but I also learned a little bit of something called Hedong Gumdo. And that's Hedong, it's two words. Hedong and Gumdo. But Gumdo comes from Kumdo.
Right.
So it's like that's just a thing in that area of the world where if they have two things that are part of one name, the second word usually has a soft, if it starts with like a consonant, it like softens it. Sorry, I get really get really excited when I talk about linguistics because I'm a nerd.
Well, going back to the meaning of kami or God, sometimes in some shows, especially in Dragon Ball, it's used as some kind of title.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Beerus was really a god, how could he die? And they said that he seems to be mortal, and a god is supposed to be immortal.
Well, again, it kind of depends on the culture, because not all deities are immortal. And
sometimes it could just mean strong, really strong, like Super Saiyan God form.
Or really powerful, because power isn't always strength. Sometimes it's wit, or influence, or charisma. I always like the deities. There are a few in Celtic mythology, if I remember correctly, but I always like the deities that are just kind of little shitlords. They're like not the strongest god, but they always get what they want because they're just fucking assholes, and they just fuck with people, and I love it. I love it so much. So like Hermes, Loki, like I love them. The goddamn trickster gods, they're great.
Or those what do you call these cats in Fairy Tale?
The Exceed?
Yeah, how they were, for some reason, people in the other world worship them.
Right. Well, because the Exceed had made it that way. They had started to control the humans in that way.
So, Happy, why are you blue? Because I'm a cat.
That is still one of the best lines ever written in any show ever.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
I
it
didn't
doesn't
think you were
make
paying
sense, but
attention to the dialogue in that show.
yeah,
No, really,
yeah.
who watches Fairy Tale for the story?
I
was
watch
about
it for
to
the
say
plot.
but I see what you're
I guess
doing.
you could say you watch it for the plot and the backstory.
Ooh, well, you got me there. I mean, Fairy Tale really does have a lot of plot, and there's quite a bit of backstory too, if you really look.
Even Levy was given a huge plot in the first episode,
She was.
and they just continued it.
The plot just went away, vanished into nothing.
What? The plot thins.
Oh,
The
so like
plot
my hairline.
shrinks. Oh.
No, I honestly, I don't know if I'll ever actually start having a receding hairline, but if I ever do, I'm gonna make so many jokes about it. Just look at someone. Unlike my hair, the plot continues to thicken. I think that'd be great.
I'll never have that. I'll never have that fucking problem.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
you
seem
you
to be
just have a
having that problem.
mane. Like you were just made of hair.
Hair.
I still enjoy the whole cousin it thing with you.
Hair. Just like everybody else.
Oh no.
That's my Simpsons moment.
Hooray. This has been a
Laugh, damn
Simpsons
it.
moment, brought to you by Dark Sharn Ganzi.
Hey,
Ask,
hey!
ask me anything about The Simpsons seasons 1 through 6, and I will know the joke and the episode. I am a connoisseur of classic Simpsons.
That's impressive.
I could even recite a full episode.
I used to be
That's
that
a
way
long
with
episode.
the newer episodes of Doctor Who, up through I think like the first couple of seasons of Matt Smith, but then I just didn't pay attention enough, and then I finally dropped the show. But I used to be known as the kind of like you're our Simpsons encyclopedia. I was kind of the Doctor Who encyclopedia. Now I need to find a new show to be an encyclopedia about. That's what I need to do.
Orphan can vouch. He can back this up, but I can recite the best Simpsons episode ever. Stark
He's done
raving
it several-
dad.
He has done it several times. He can in fact do this.
Prove it. Prove it.
Bart? Bart? Hey, Bart. Lisa, it's 6 a.m. Something's wrong. Dad died. No, he's fine. Oh, what do you know? I'm relieved. Bart, tomorrow's my birthday. I'm going to be 8 years old. It's a big number, almost double digits. Well, enjoy it while you can. Things start changing after you hit the big 1-0. Legs start to go. Kenny doesn't taste as good anymore. Bart, will you let me pour my little heart out? Sorry, this old timer does like to ramble along sometimes, don't he? Bart, I do so much for you, yet you've disappointed me every one of my birthdays. I think you get the point now.
Yeah, that is a skill.
I've just
And
seen that
it's
episode so many times.
A
That's fair.
photographic memory of The Simpsons.
Who are you? Hi, I'm Michael Jackson from the Jacksons. I'm Homer Simpson from The Simpsons.
Well, hi Homer. How are you?
My name is Homer J. Simpson. The J stands for J.
Well,
Remember how they had that whole episode about trying to find out his middle name, and it was just
Yeah. It's not one of my favorite episodes at all, actually. It's actually past my comfort zone.
I like the one where they where Homer was Bigfoot for a day.
Oh yeah. I love when they captured him, they cleaned off all they still asked the question in the report. Was it a man or was it the legendary Bigfoot? Can I have some applesauce? Yeah, they were feeding him a pork chop. Fellas, I think we can all agree that this is either a below average male or a brilliant beast.
That's Homer.
alrighty then. So would you recommend Simpsons? Is it a good anime?
Oh, the best.
I'll tell you what, King of the Hill is just Texas anime, and everyone knows it.
You know what? I actually agree with you for the first time in about 6 months. God damn it. Hey, Hank, grab me a beer.
What kind do you want, real beer or the beer you slam on the side of your head?
Both. I'm feeling dangerous today.
I swear to God, like, between the beautiful reciting of The Simpsons and our impressions, if we get copyright struck for this, I'm gonna be upset.
Someone's gonna get hurt.
And it ain't gonna be us.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'll do it again.
What are you lighting a cigarette over there? What was that clicking? It sounded like a lighter.
This thing still works.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of nearly out of gas. Piece of shit.
Yeah, I need to see if see, now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, there's still fluid in there.
See, that's what you can always get smokers to do. One person just puts the
Yeah.
light on, and everyone else does it.
You're just like, wait.
Do I have gas?
I don't know, how many beans did you have?
Beans. Ugh.
Beans.
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 Oh yeah, beans.
There's a memeable moment. Oh my
yeah.
god.
Beans.
At some point, I really want to get one of those voice modulators just to fuck with people.
Dude,
But at
All
the
you need
same
to-
time,
just buy voice mod. It's like cheap as shit.
that's fair. Then again, I can also do stuff with my voice like this. Hello, my name is Microsoft Sam. I am here to help you. Many people seem to think that I sound like Stephen Hawking, but it is a different vocal system.
Well, at least he's not
Yeah.
Bonzi, buddy. Hi, I am here to help you. I will you viruses.
I am Kermit the Frog.
And now, you get to find out if I'm doing an impression of Kermit the Frog or Jordan Peterson. Yay!
God damn it.
I still love that joke. I love it so much.
Crumpets? Goddamn crumpets? We're the freaking Muppets, not Teletubbies.
I mean, where's the lie?
There's none.
Of course not. Of course there is no lie. For it is beautiful
Oh,
and
wow.
marvelous. And see, this is why it's nice not having a topic, because we absolutely got off topic. from what we started with.
Hey, Professor. You got any beer?
Mr. Simpson, this is the most blatant case of fraudulent advertising since my suit against the film The Never-Ending Story.
Never ending story. And I'm not saying any more than that because YouTube copyright is evil and stupid.
Well-
God damn, Nick Waldy over here sucks balls today.
You know, I don't know if this is an appropriate topic, but if you ever make a you-know-what video,
Hmm.
you know what you gotta do to make sure it leaves the internet?
Oh yeah, play Disney music.
Exactly.
Yep.
That or just use anything from Warner. Just use any music from Warner Music Group.
Oh, that's
and take it
true.
down in 2 seconds.
I mean, like anything from Warner Brothers, like just play one of their movies in the background. Just turn on Harry
Dude,
Potter before
I was
you.
playing. I was playing fucking Batman, Arkham Knight, and I was only on the title screen for 3 seconds,
Hmm.
and they caught me for that shit. Unless, like, I logged off the fucking stream, like, and 5 seconds later, copyright.
Yeah,
I mean, a guy and a girl are getting intimate. All you gotta do is play a song that goes a couple of seconds of "I can show you the world,
shining,
shining,
shimmering, splendid. Oh, I thought we were gonna
and
do
boom!
it.
I am not duetting it with
Aw.
you.
I had something. Wait,
I'm straight as
wait.
an arrow.
I had something for this. Oh, man, I can't. I need to work on my Archer. And Orphan needs to help me.
I can help, but only if you pay me $50. I mean, I've got to get money somehow.
Me too, bud. Me too.
Money. Me too.
I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, all you got to do is talk like this. It's
True, but
kind of
I think I managed to not be monotone enough. You know what I mean?
Okay, now talk like
easiest way to-
Elvis.
the easiest way to do it is just to sound like, Snuffleupagus from Sesame Street. Fake a
Who?
Snuffleupagus.
I'll have to rewatch
Okay.
some stuff because I can only vaguely remember that goddamn crackhead.
Or actually, better yet, think of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, except a bit higher.
Okay, now sound like Elvis.
Well, thank you very much.
Tutti frutti, oh Rudy. Yeah, yo. Know that for me, here's some chicks. He actually did sing that in a movie.
I think I remember
He
that.
actually did.
Yeah, Double Trouble.
God, it's been ages since I've seen Double Trouble. I'm pretty sure I saw it when I was 10.
It's not a good movie at all.
I barely remember it. I only remember a few key scenes. That's about it.
Oh God, the whole world is going yellow.
Ring,
I
ring,
mean, the only
yellow.
ones-
I know.
It's starting again.
Yellow.
See that's the thing about brush fires and forest fires. People get so pissy about them, but 9 times out of 10 the worst forest fires are because you are preventing forest fires at all times and not letting them naturally blaze because that's a normal thing for them, you know?
Yeah.
They need that to replenish and to make sure they don't grow too big and to make sure it's not a bigger fire hazard in case of, an issue. It burns off just naturally over time. That's kind of what California's problem was. Not totally sure about the issues in Australia right now, but
The issues here of a stupid, demonetization. Anyway, stupid sled.
Should we really get
$5
involved
go-
with
go
Mother
out and
Nature?
Start little fires like us.
I guess it depends on the level of involvement.
Ooh, so Mother Nature needs a favor. Well, maybe she should have thought of that before she started besetting us with droughts and floods and poison monkeys.
I
Other
mean,
point to it,
God,
gets
it's
that
gonna be worse
reference.
than yesterday.
it sounds familiar,
Okay.
but I do not remember where it's from. I know I've heard it somewhere.
You know what? I'm just for a bit of a thing. Josh, would it be okay in the Discord if I put up a little text channel called Orphan Bushfire Updates? Just put pictures of how.
Dude, you were
Freaking
really
weather's
quiet
been
for
out
some
here.
reason. I can barely hear you.
Oh, hang on. I gotta reconnect again.
Okay.
I'm outside, so my tablet's being.
Oh, right.
Now it's just you and me, bud.
Oh, man, he came back. We were gonna plot behind your back.
Okay, there we go. I was going to say, would it be okay if I put a little text chat up on the Discord say it's labeled Orphans Bushfire Updates and just take photos of how red the sky gets?
Do it. Just absolutely do it. You have my seal of approval. Abuse your admin privileges.
Oh yes, the power it flows through me. I can feel it corrupting my very essence.
Essence!
Essence! Rocco!
Oh,
Mrs. Bighead?
god damn it.
God damn it.
Oh,
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Rocco? Mrs. Bighead?
Rocco, a 20-year-old cartoon's not gonna solve your problems.
That's what you think.
You know, that special wasn't half bad. I actually have to say.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wasn't bad.
This food truck sells pizza taco. Big deal. I got a wiener taco. I got a taco. It's on another taco. What you get, Rocco?
Food poisoning!
See, it's at that point where you just cut back to the Charlie Brown Halloween. I got a rock.
was just-
Memes.
I'm trying to somehow work in. Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
God damn it. That is a Simpsons quote that I do know. I do know some things.
No. I don't want anyone giving Lisa a hard time just because she's different. No jokes, no touching. Look, the kid's got bosoms. Who's gonna wet towel? Psh! Come here, little butterball. Don't make me run. I'm full of chocolate.
God damn it.
I'm sure all of this made sense on some planet, but the problem is this is Earth.
Yeah, the Simpsons ruled the earth back in the 90s.
And now, class, we are going to talk about the 20th and 21st centuries. From what we know, a certain selection of people by a nuclear power plant were yellow for some time. There is, in fact, historical evidence of this. And now, as we move on to the meme wars. The first great meme war. I kind of want to make a video out of that now. Just like make a whole video of just like a documentary from the future talking about like cartoons and memes.
I would like to be frozen and woken up in like 100 years from now just to see what people will think of today's culture.
I just want to live that long. Just like outlive everyone. I refuse to die. I'm too stubborn.
You know that Chinese geneticists are actually trying to think of a way that people can live to like.
Yeah, I mean the biggest issue with it is the telomeres on the edges of your genes. You have this kind of like junk DNA on the tips of your genes of your chromosomes, and so what'll happen is like over time as they split and recombine and split and recombine over and over and over, making new cells, making new proteins and stuff like that. the telomeres get smaller and smaller and smaller, and eventually, like, you start legitimately aging. You go past your prime when you lose enough of your genetic material in too much of your body, so your cells don't work right, so it can't heal itself right. The problem with that is that if you fix that problem alone, it causes something very interesting. Because we do actually have ways of stopping the deterioration of the telomere. It's called cancer. That's literally what cancer is. Is just reproducing out of control. And one way to induce cancer is to kind of immortalize the chromosomes by preventing telomere deterioration.
I'm learning.
Hooray! I told you at the beginning I'm a nerd, and I just keep like going down this path of just like explaining things.
Oh, Squiddy followed, by the way.
I noticed that.
So did Sidewinder Games.
Hooray!
Just time for me to say that if anyone hasn't heard before, me and a couple other guys are working on a video game.
A racing game.
A racy game? What's racy about
A
it?
racing game.
But is it also
Is it
racy?
Formula One?
Nope, it's pretty much gonna be an offshoot, or it's gonna play like F-Zero. Captain Falcon included, lol.
Well,
Hello there.
thank
And
you
we're working
for
on a.
joining us today, Sidewinder Games. We are happy to have you. It's nice to have people enjoy what's going on here, and I mean, racing games are fun. I honestly can't think of someone who doesn't like playing racing games. I can only think of people who just don't buy racing games, but they enjoy them, but they don't buy them.
Yeah.
Well, what is the best racing game?
Road Rash, motherfuckers.
Mario Kart.
I would say I'm a Gran Turismo guy.
I honestly haven't played enough.
You know what? I'd say Gran Turismo if there was proper if there were proper damage models, but there aren't. So
You can turn on damage, realistic
Yeah, but-
damage.
is it realistic damage though?
Well, doing realistic damage to something as complex as a car in 3D, like and to do it in a command system like a game, like that's really hard. Although Sidewinder is saying F-Zero X.
F-Zero X or GX, yeah, those games are good.
I think I've played F-Zero X like once, but I can't remember. So I might be thinking of a different game entirely.
Ever tried a Formula One game?
I don't think so. No.
You have to be an
played-
expert on cars to properly enjoy them because you have to do the customizing and you have to
Mhm.
understand how the length between the base of the car and the road affects its performance and all that stuff.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the most I've gotten into with F1 is Ayrton Senna's game on the like Genesis. Way back when Ayrton Senna had a game. It was pretty cool. It was like F1, stock cars, and other stuff as well. It's like 4 games in one.
I always like when they have like multiple different like ideas. So games are like effectively multiple games all in one. I really like that. I don't know what it is about
It's
it.
a good idea. This is cool because like once you get tired of one set of handling or whatever, or the speed of whatever, you can just switch to something new.
Yeah. So it
That's why
can
I
hold your
think
interest.
people like
Yeah.
I think that's why people like Gran Turismo so much. There's so many different cars and so many different sort of things to do, and not to mention Forza. Forza's great for that as well.
Yeah,
the environment's so huge that like it's
That sells so well. Forza.
You know, maybe I should do a retro gaming stream on Twitch for Gran Turismo 3 on the PlayStation 2.
Do it, bro.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
want to get even older than that, you should do GT2. GT2 on the PlayStation 1 was fucking sick.
God, it's been years since I've played on the PlayStation 1. Like I remember, I vividly remember because it was the first time I had ever like sat down and played a game that wasn't Pokemon or Legend of Zelda. And my friend, his dad worked for Sony, so he obviously probably got discounts on a lot of this stuff. So he had the PlayStation 1. And
Wait, did your friend ever pull the "my dad works for Sony, so I know info you don't" joke?
no.
Damn it! I would've
My
pulled that
friend
fucking
whose
card.
dad worked at Dell did that all the time, and I would just snap back at him, "Well, my dad works at Apple," and just I wouldn't even finish.
Ugh.
Then
Remember those
again, I also
damn
had no
kids?
social skills back then.
Remember those annoying kids who were like, "Oh, I know how to get Togepi in red and blue."
Well, see,
Or
now all I'm remembering is the legend, the myth of Peekaboo.
Peekaboo?
Do you
Oh,
remember the
God.
whole Peekaboo controversy? Or not controversy, the
yeah.
Peekaboo
Rumor?
rumors? It just turned out
Oh,
to be
yeah.
Azurill.
I never
No.
heard of that, actually.
Okay, so it was mostly in the U.S.,
Happened to
so
me.
it's understandable that you may not have heard of it. I don't know how much it
No,
leaked
no.
out of the U.S., but I know
I heard
most of
it
it
back.
happened. And
I heard it when I was in Canberra.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So, but you weren't in Jordan at that time, right?
No,
Okay. So
this is before.
I would not imagine Jordan would have caught
And
on
a
to
Pokemon
the
came here
rumor.
late, and when it did,
Mm-hmm.
just soon after, some asshole in Saudi Arabia had to get butthurt over its popularity.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
happen.
there's some inbred moron who has an eye problem of sorts, and I don't know, this
No, tell me how you really feel.
an asshole who one of these holier than thou dickheads. Oh, I am
Oh,
a
yeah.
religious scholar. Listen to me. Fuck you. You waste your time thinking about how Pokemon is bad and how chess is time consuming, makes people forget to pray. Shut up, man. There's a point where you take this stuff to ridiculous levels of seriousness.
Yeah. Yeah, there are just always people like that, like wherever you go. There's just someone who's going to take it way too seriously. And if you can't have fun, what even is the point?
Yeah, they don't like fun. They think we should just be sitting looking at the clock waiting for the next prayer time. That to them
It's
is
my way or the highway.
Well, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up
Had
this
to do it.
stream. It was good. It was good.
all right.
So let me get over to the subscribe. Who's what's it? With oh, that's right. Music
God damn
isn't
it,
working, but
Bagels.
that's all right.
Bagels just said before we cut off.
Oh yeah. I have it here. I played a round of CG.
CS:GO.
Well, oh my god, it still plays the audio even though it doesn't show the GIF when he donates. I hope you're happy, Bagels. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining us today. I have been Josh, and this has been Orphan and Dark. And if you enjoyed, you can always meet us in our Discord, which is in the link in the description. You can support me on Patreon and or subscribe to me on Twitch, DLive, or YouTube. It's been fun,
Yes.
and I'll see y'all next time.
Please keep requesting me.
Face